Immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
Welcome back. It's Core Digest Friday as we discuss Tambuwal'S defection and the matters arising. All right, there's a lot about, lots being talked now as regards what that section of the Constitution, section 68, subsection 1. Now, I believe that that section will pop up on the screen very quickly so that we can together as laymen, as they call us, read for ourselves and try to pick one or two things from that part of the Constitution, which has now become a major debate in Nigeria. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, promulgation 1999. This is section 61, subsection 1. Now, a member of the Senate or of the House of Representatives shall vacate a seat in the House of which he is a member if A. He becomes a member of another legislative house, B. Any other circumstances arise that if he were not a member of the Senate or the House of the Representatives would cause him to be disqualified for election as a member. C. He ceases to be a citizen of Nigeria. D. He becomes president, vice president, governor, deputy governor, or a minister of the government of the federation, or a commissioner of the government of a state, or a special advisor. All right, let's move on to the other part of it. E, save as otherwise prescribed by this constitution, he becomes a member of a commission or other body established by this constitution or by any other law. F, without just cause, he is absent from meetings of the House of which he is a member for a period amounting in the aggregate to more than 1/3 of the total number of days during which the House meets in any 1 year. And of course, we always see many seats vacant. This might also be another provision to impeach members of the House. But this is the subsection 1G that the Inspector General of Police is talking about, upon which premise they have withdrawn Tambuwal security details. Being a person whose election to the House was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which that House was elected, provided that his membership of the later political party, meaning his new party, is not a result of a division in the political party of which he was previously a member, or of a merger of two or more political parties or factions by one of which he was previously sponsored. Now let's move on. Or the president of the Senate, or the case may be, or as the case may be, the Speaker of the House of Representatives receives a certificate under the hand of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission stating that the provisions of Section 69 of this Constitution have been complied with in respect of the recall of that member. Now, Section 69 talks about the provisions of the law that makes electorates have the capacity to recall members of the House. Now, that's not what we're talking about right now. But enter, I'll go back to the preceding page that talks about Section 68, Section 1G. Now, where the red letter started from. Just go back to the former page. No, that's not it. Go to the next one now. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is that part of the Constitution that has caused lots of debate. Being a person whose election to the House was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party. In this case, Tambuwal already defected from the PDP to the APC before the expiration of his period for which the House was elected. Now, provided that Tambuwal's membership of this APC is not as a result of a division in the political party of which he was previously a member, talking about the PDP here, or of a merger of two or more political parties or factions by one of which it was previously sponsored. So the big question now is there a division in the PDP? Was there any merger of two or more political parties where it's coming from? How exactly can we describe all of that? Now, many have made lots of assertions, lots of comments as regards this. You recall in 2013 when there were actually different factions of PDP Congress, one led by the Baraje group, and others have also made reference to the letter written earlier this year by former President Olusegun Obasanjo to Mr. President, talking to him about why he should not contest a second term. Now, you recall also that the former president said recently that he is still a member of the PDP. Men have also picked one or two things from that possibly indeed there are factions. Now, you also heard about the tour now ongoing by the PDP elder statesman by the name Tony Anini, who has been to places like even Sokoto, where Tambuwa is from, been to Kaduna and other northern parts of the country, and is on this trip for what he calls a peace tour. Now, we're just going to bring you one of those reports and hear exactly what he said, and you can determine for yourself if the PDP is troubled or not. I'll be back with you after this.
You can only maintain that status if there is peace and unity. Am I right? Yes. If there is spirit of forgiveness, the spirit of give and take, and I'm very happy to see the quality of crowd here. If Edo has this number of quality people, I will not be in politics. So, Ella, you come to Edo State and be my brothers and sisters there, so that I also will sleep with my two eyes closed. On a more serious note, we had visited many states for the zonal rallies, singing one song: unity, peace, understanding, performance. Today, by the grace of God, this will be the first time for a party to have a sole candidate for the presidential race. It is because of you and because of your colleagues in the party in other states. You should be seen to be taking the lead, because those days Kaduna was like the Northern Star.
Okay, the elder statesman there who has been on a tour reconciling leaders of the PDP, explaining to them the dangers of going to the next election as a divided house. Now, there's a lot of debate as regards what this tour is all about. One of the key points, however, is assisting the neck of the PDP in resolving the challenges and crises confronting the party in the state chapters. Now, you overheard him also saying that this is the first time that there will be a sole candidacy from the PDP. But is it actually right? Now, I don't know if MCR can get Abdul Tafawa Balewa's comments, the man in the PDP who said he has paid for his nomination form, but he is yet to get it. Can we describe that position as a faction? Can we describe it as a division? Now, we're going to hear, because we spoke with him earlier, I believe yesterday, to get his opinion as regards how really united the People's Democratic Party is. I'll be back with you after that.
No, I didn't come to buy a form. I've already paid for the form maybe 3 or 4 days ago. And I was told to come back yesterday that the form was not ready because only one was printed. But by yesterday, they will have other forms. It wasn't so. I came back today. Now I went to the financial secretary who saw me for 1 minute, asked me to go sit somewhere. He will talk to the treasurer, and he has since locked himself in because he just didn't know what to do. I don't want to get anybody into trouble. I went to the treasurer's office, and I was told now that there's a new directive that it has to be approved by the chairman. Why the rules are changing on a daily basis, only God can tell. But I have paid for my form. I am going to get my form, and by God, I will.
All right, it's getting very interesting now, if you ask me. This is exactly coming from the PDP that the NEC said earlier yesterday that they have a consensus candidate, a sole candidacy in the name of Mr. President. Well, who am I to judge whether the PDP is divided or factionalized? Only you can tell, and I believe that in due time, the court of jurisdiction also will find something to say as regards that. But moving on our discussion on this issue, I am joined now by an honorable member of the House of Representatives, and he is a member of the 7th National Assembly representing Ekiti South Constituency 2, Bamidele Fakparusi. Good morning, and thank you for finding time to join us.
Yeah, good morning, and it has been good hearing from you.
Thank you very much for finding time to join us. Well, let's start from the beginning of all of this. Many are now questioning whether Tambuwal's declaration of defection indeed means that he has vacated that office. From your own point of view, how would you interpret this provision of the law?
Good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity provided me to share my view on the going in the country at this time.
Okay.
I was going through the provision of section
68.
68, subsection
1G.
1G. You know, the section 68 was actually laying basis, providing the basis for which a member can either be a member or lose his seat or retain his seat. It was like giving us from section A, B, C, D to G, you know, conditions that you need to meet to retain your seat in the House of Representatives. And if you don't meet all these subsections, you'll be asked to vacate your seat. The section G said, you shall vacate your seat. But when you go to section 2 of subsection 2, the effect, the power to enforce section 1 is in section 2. If you maybe if you permit me, I can read through. You say the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as the case may be, shall give effect to provision of subsection 1.
Okay.
I want to read again. The President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as the case may be, shall give effect to the provisions of section 1 of this Constitution. What does that tell us? It tells us that it's not the police. The Constitution does not give the police the power to interpret this section or to act on this section or to give effect to the section. It gave the power to either a Senate President or the Speaker of House of Representatives. So what the police what they are doing now is constitutional breach, is illegal. As a house, Tambuwal is still the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We last on when he made this declaration, there was no news that he was impeached that day, or that he resigned that day. So he still occupied that seat. So it's very funny and show of impunity for the police to quickly. We have seen the presidency engaging in a lot of constitutional breaches, and we have not seen police acting. We have not seen police acting. When, take for instance, recently, when judges were beaten up in court, we have not seen police acted against such barbaric act. But this is not even a criminal. This is civil and it's politics. So why is police getting themselves involved? It's not a criminal. I mean, the barrister that was here before was saying if a thief steals, the police has power to go and arrest because that's a criminal activity. It's different from this is politics. This is politics. You won't find that in the Constitution. You won't find that if a thief steals, you won't find it in the Constitution. So this is a constitutional matter, constitutional provision. And the way it's being interpreted is it has shown that police is an extension of the PDP. And it's quite regrettable for for a nation like Nigeria that we are trying to grow, we are trying to develop our democracy, and this is killing the democracy. And you believe that the position of the Nigeria police is an outright breach of the Constitution? It's an outright breach of the Constitution. I mean, if we can even call it treason, because Speaker represents the people, is number 4 citizen in this country. That's that office. And for ordinary Inspector General of Police, ordinary Inspector General of Police, to withdraw the security duties of Mr. Speaker, it is a treason, and he should be charged. But don't you think that this is more complicated than you think? Because if the provision for executing that particular order, it lies on the Speaker. In this case, it is the Speaker that is now involved. Yeah. Don't you think that possibly the status quo has to be observed, meaning that Mr. Speaker is also expected to vacate as the Constitution has stated? Mr. Speaker, we have had people, we have had members who have moved from one party to the other recently. Mr. Speaker will interpret the position or the basis members said they are moving from one party to the other. Okay. The Constitution gives him the power to interpret the reason behind you moving from one party to the other. And if he sees it as justifiable, he will not declare your seat vacant. So, in this case, it's the House. It's the House that when we resume, in the wisdom of members, can move in form of motion that Mr. Speaker, you have to. Then the members will decide. It's not the police. We put him there as members. It's not PDP that elect Tambuwal there. APC, CPC. If any members can become Speaker, because our rules does not say it must come from one particular party or ruling party. It's just a basic politics that a majority will always have their way. Okay. That's when you have majority members from a party, automatically you know that if you are from the minority, you cannot contest to be Speaker and win. So if it doesn't mean that if you contest and the majority believes in your leadership, you cannot be elected. We have had instances, we have had people from opposition parties who were speakers in the House of Representatives before. So that because he was elected, then he cannot be this, because he was elected under PDP, he cannot be Speaker again. You know, that is left for the House members to decide that. It's not for PDP, it's not for the police. There are some mysteries that are yet to be unraveled, and I would love also to have your opinion as regards stories particular about the Speaker of the House. Some saying he has always been a member of the APC because he has done their bid at the floor of the House. But let's quickly take this call
from Musa. Good morning, Musa. Hello, Musa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still on the line.
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
I have a little question to the guest that is with you.
Go ahead,
my
please.
question to him is that is it a political or constitutional right for PDP to be embarrassing the national speaker at the moment? This is my question for the guest.
It's all right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Good to hear from you, Musa. We're going to take a short break now. And when we come back, we'll take more of your calls. And, of course, the member of the House of Reps is still right here to answer many more questions. A very brief break, and we'll be back with you. Don't go away.
Core TV News, expanding your view.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, our 24-hour news station.
Also on Core TV, Core Digest Friday, as we discuss Tambuwal's defection and the matters arising. I still have with me Honorable Bamadele Fakparusi, a member of the House of Reps representing the Ekiti South Constituency 2. How would you describe the disposition of Tambuwal prior to this time? We've seen him, go out with the opposition party, or do their bidding even at the floor of the House. Would you say that he has always been with the APC from the onset?
No. He was a member of PDP. He was elected on the platform of PDP. And to say that he has been doing the bidding of APC is not true. Speaker is first among equal, is to moderate the affairs of the House. He doesn't even have decision of his own until the final. Are you getting my point? So, Mr. Speaker is a big builder.
Let me just hold you there for a minute. Let's take this call. Olumide, good morning. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Please go ahead with the contribution.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead, I'm with you, Olumide.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead with your contribution.
I think what we are witnessing now in this country is just lawlessness being perpetrated. It's the lawlessness perpetrated by the people in authority, especially the IG. He has acted too in haste. Should have waited for the people in the House to decide. Okay? The man made his intention known not quite 24 hours or 48 hours or thereabouts. You have acted. On what basis and on what premises? The man should be sacked or he should resign. The people in the House know what to do. You understand? So we should not continue to encourage such. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Olumide. How exactly would you describe the romance, really, that we've seen between the Speaker of the House and the APC?
That's a statement. Tambuwal is a statement. If you occupy exalted position like the President, Vice President, Senate President, Speaker, you should live above party interest or party level.
Okay.
You should be nationalistic in your view and your relationship with people. So, he's no longer the Speaker of PDP. He's the Speaker over all of us, either PDP, APC, CPC, and every other party, every other member representing other parties in the House.
Well, obviously,
so
he is now a Speaker for the APC. Eventually.
He's not a Speaker for APC. He's a Speaker of the House of Representatives. He's a Speaker of the House of Representatives, not a Speaker of APC.
Well, beyond all of that now, some have also made reference to the about 37 PDP members of your house that defected, and the court already asked them to resign. So even it looks as if, apart from the position of the IG, we'll also have a court of competent jurisdiction that has already passed a verdict on this provision of the Constitution.
Thank you. The court pronouncement will be a guide for the Speaker to act. The Speaker still resides that constitutional power to act, to declare those seats vacant.
Okay.
So the court will just provide guide to the Speaker to decide. So it's not the court. The court cannot pronounce any member seat vacant. There's no power embedded in courts to do that. The power resides, constitutional power resides in the Speaker or the Senate President to declare member seat vacant.
In this case now that the person in the eye of the storm is the Speaker, who that has the responsibility? Just before you answer that, let's take this call from Abdul. Good morning, Abdul.
Hello.
Good morning. Go ahead with the contribution, please.
Good morning. Listen, and your honorable member there, the guest. Good morning. Yeah, my take is on this, the unfortunate situation we have in our country. Frank, yesterday when I got the news, I was really shocked. In this democracy, having this kind of, censorship, I was practicing a democratic and dictatorial. It is very, please, defection did not just come today. It don't start from Tambuwal. Let me tell you, from 1999 to date, the number of defection we have in our democracy, the present dispensation, is uncountable. But none have caused such an alarm. So the IG of police should, as a matter of integrity, please, for him to allow the Nigerian police name to remain the way it is, should with immediate effect reverse his decision. Let him ask the security operatives to go back his aid, Ambo's aid to go back to him. And the section of that constitution that we'll keep talking about, section 58, 1G, is talking about party, when you defect from the party that bring you to the house, you lose. Tambuwal did not come to the house with a PDP ticket. He came to the house with APP. Now, if he defected to PDP and got to the speakership, then what happened? Well, the police, when the man defected from AMPT to PDP, becoming the Speaker of the House. And of recent, what happened? None of them other parties to PDP, and PDP rejoices with them. And I was so surprised yesterday when I heard the president summoning all the PDP governors, the PDP members for a close on meet. At the end of the day, they came out with a decision. Did they have the decision to determine, to interpret the law? Let the court. Where do we have separation of power? The legislature have their own, right of. Well, the great judiciary, they interpret what that say. When the police know, the police, please, they should save this country from this mess. I'm so disappointed with this development in the country, especially with the national democracy we're practicing. You see, Jonathan, if he was a retired military man before joining politics, I'd have said maybe he's still having the military hangover on him. But he's a pure civilian. In fact, when some of us were even struggling to get this democracy in place, I believe some of them were not even there. They were just busy in their places, enjoying their, it's like, what one will say? Oh, God, before Western democracy today. So
it's all right, Abdul.
Please, I am urging this IG, or the IG, or we call it the acting IG, to with immediate effect, return the aid to the Speaker. The man ceremony, the Speaker of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Dark ceremony. There's any law that says the opposition will not be the Speaker of the House? There's no law, you know.
All right. I believe you made your point there, Abdul. Thank you very much for your contribution. He made a very incisive statement that you recall that Tambuwal actually was elected into the House of Representatives on the platform of the All Nigeria People's Party, the ANPP. Okay. You believe that he came in through PDP. It's all right. Beyond all of that now, how would you describe, some have even said that, unlike the leadership of the House of Reps, where speakers get in there and then they are impeached, that Tambuwal probably has stayed this long because of his relationship with members of the APC in the House of Reps?
You know, because of relationship with members, not with members of APC.
Okay.
You expect that for him to defy PDP decision, for him not to contest, and he contested and won. You should expect rancor, and they should expect members of the PDP to be victimizing him on the floor. But that has not been the case. He has the cooperation of everybody, both PDP, APC, Labour. So he was able to sustain his leadership by being statesman in his dealings with members.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning, Rotimi. How are you today?
Hello.
Go ahead with the contribution, Rotimi.
Oh, you very good morning. How are you?
I'm terrific.
Yes. I want to contribute to this program. My mind believes each time I see things like this happening in Nigeria, when is professionalism going to take place in our Nigerian police? We are in an advanced country. Have you seen police dabbling into politics the way they are doing it in Nigeria? Are they taking side of their employer? Is police employed to be on the side of one political party or the other? Yes, this country is being taken to a state of anarchy by the presidency. I don't know why. We have seen cases in Ekiti State whereby judges were beaten, which has never happened in the history of this Nigeria.
Thank you.
And nothing was done to it. And even their candidate, Fayose, was from the Constitution. Because he was not supposed to be, at that time he came, he has not spent 10 years after his impeachment. He was taken and he was treated, and nobody talked about it, and he was sworn in. Issues like this are issues that take us to anarchy. I don't know. I just feel sad each day. I wake up. I've been to America. I've seen the way things were done over there, and all other countries of the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rotimi, for your contribution. Good to hear from you. There are rumors that there are plans for the House to be opened before December 3. Have you heard about that?
It's not possible. That will not happen. Before going forward, quickly, I want to advise IG, because life is at stake here. Life is at stake here. The effect, the outcome of insecurity of Honorable Speaker, this country may not be able to bear it. If anything should happen to him, police will not be able to bear it. Presidency, they should know the implication. It's even now they need to secure him more. I'm surprised. It's even now he needs security more than before. We expect police to be more professional and know that he needs more security now than before. Because we expect that maybe PDP, quote and unquote, we want to go after him. So, I just an advice. If we still want this country together, what triggers crisis, serious crisis, is maybe this little, the way we look at it. If anything should happen to Tambuwal, we know that Tambuwal comes from a section of the country.
That's right.
He has his people. So, he should be protected. Nothing should be taken for granted. And the effect this country may not be able to bear it.
You know, people are also apprehensive given the history of violence that we've experienced at the hallowed chambers. You saw what happened in Rivers. You understand what is presently taking place in Edo State. Or do you see this deteriorating when you eventually resume on December 3?
I don't see it. It will be sponsored. They have said it, they will sponsor crisis. PDP have said it, they have made it clear. The president, the governors forum, it was the outcome of their meeting yesterday, that they want to brew crisis in the house. But I'm sure we members were matured enough to, if we want to tell Tambuwal to step down, we'll move a motion, we'll do things based on lay down guidelines. We have guidelines in our rules. We have rules that guide us, our activities. So they should just leave us alone. We are arm of the government, legislative arm of government. The parties, including APC, including PDP, they should leave us alone to do our work.
But do you think that possibly for the sake of national interest, Tambuwal should resign? Taking a clue from what Chris Giwa did, who got a case in court against Pinnick, but for the sake of national interest, withdrew that particular court case.
See, nobody has gone to court. Nobody has gone to court. No members has raised a voice demanding his resignation. No member. Quote and unquote, no member, including the PDPs in the House. Nobody has raised their voice. Nobody has gone to court to ask the court to tell him to vacate a seat. Are you getting my point? So there's no basis to say in national interest. In the House, there is no crisis. I mean, that should be more important than every other issue. The crisis now is the PDP, not in Nigeria. And they should restrict that crisis to their party. They should not take the crisis in their party to rock the boat of this country. There is no crisis in the House. We are peaceful. We suspend plenary because we want to go on oversight. Regular is a routine. It has been a routine. So going on, it's not really a recess. We suspend plenary. It's a different thing. We are going to Abuja on Tuesday. We have committee meetings. We have oversight to do so that we'll be able to know the performance of the budget for 2014 because we want to prepare for 2015 budget. We want to prepare for 2015 budget. So we need to move around to see how the executive have performed, how they have been able to implement the budget. That was why we suspend plenary so that it will give us time to meet at committee level, to travel, to meet ministries, to meet agencies, and to come back, to come and brief the whole House the level of performance of 2014 budget. So the way they are interpreting it, as if it is part of our timetable that we are going on this suspension of plenaries. It has been part of our timetable. So Nigerians should know that we suspended sitting not because of Tambuwal defection or not. It's part of our timetable because at the beginning of the year we always have timetables.
Okay.
And we are working.
So it's not possible that for the sake of Tambuwal's defection that the timetable should be annulled or tampered with?
No. The speaker, the speaker's major role is when we sit. Outside when we sit, outside when we sit, it's when we sit, he oversee, he guide the House. It's when we sit. So when we resume on the 3rd, it's not left for a member, either one or two, to say, Mr. Speaker, since you have decamped to PDP, vacate your seat in form of motion. Then the member will say, if the member say, hey, is that voting or not? They say, okay. If the majority of members, 2/3, so to say, said he should vacate the seat, yeah, I'll tell you, Tambuwal will vacate the seat.
It's all right.
So another thing about this defection, if there is division in the party, is ambiguous. It's very ambiguous. It's very difficult to interpret. Why I say so is that division can happen at the world level. It may not. The Constitution does not say division at the national level of the party. Division may occur at the world level. If Tambuwal's word in PDP, if it's fractionalized, it's fractionalized. It doesn't have to be fractionalized at the national level.
We have to let you go now, but we hope that you find some other time to join us subsequently on this program to discuss, especially the chances of APC in Ekiti State, where you came from.
Bright chances.
But before you go, I would love to see just say something to the people of your constituency, because I'm sure that Ekiti people want to hear from you. Emure going Ekiti East, right?
Yes.
Please go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yes. Thank you very much. My people from my constituency, this is your boy, Honorable Fapi. You know that you know. I know how to campaign, but you already know what I've been doing, and I want to thank you once again for your support this far, and I expect more support going forward.
Thank you very much. Honorable Bamidele Fakwarusi is an honorable member of the 7th National Assembly representing the Ekiti South constituency too. Thank you very much for finding time to join us.
Thank you very much.
Hope that subsequently you also join us on Call Digest. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have another legal practitioner who will shed more light on the provision of the 1999 Constitution as regards to Tambuwal'S defection. Don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.